What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and in today's video, I want to show you guys a fight simulation between two AIs in UFC 5 for the main event of UFC 310, Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. And also, I'll be giving you guys my prediction for this fight in a quick breakdown. And with that being said, let's get right into it. And I think that Kai Asakura is actually going to pull off the upset. I think that he is going to beat Alexandre Pantoja in this one. And, Pantoja, he's known for his chin, but I could actually see Kai Asakura finish him due to strikes. We've seen a lot of durable fighters this year get knocked the hell out. I mean, Francis Ngannou way back in March, a guy who had never been dropped, never been rocked. He was taking head kicks from Shogun, taking massive ground and pound punches from Stipe Miocic while he was completely out of gas, taking some punches off Tyson Fury, just for him to get dusted by Anthony Joshua in just 2 rounds, basically. And that was insane because Ngannou was literally unconscious. But then you have a guy like Max Holloway who firstly gets dropped for the first time ever. Arguably, he got dropped versus Dustin, but the fans kind of held him up. Then Justin Gaethje drops him clean. I don't know why the UFC didn't consider that a knockdown. I mean, Justin Gaethje punched him, Max Holloway fell down. That's quite literally the definition of a knockdown. But then Ilia Topuria, he just knocked him out in October. He knocked him out clean. Like, Max Holloway was still conscious, but he still got dropped pretty bad, and he was not responsive. And I think that Alexandre Pantoja is going to get his chin cracked in this one. In his last couple fights, like the Brandon Royval fight and the Steve Erzik fight, he didn't really look that good, and he didn't really look that much different. I feel like Pantoja is starting to slow down a bit. I think that his endurance maybe isn't quite there. His explosiveness as well. He just looked like he was like starting to fatigue. He was like really slow in the later rounds. Obviously, he's fighting at a high pace. But against Brandon Moreno, he was a lot fresher in those championship rounds. And then in his last fight against Steve Erzik, I don't know how Pantoja won. I thought that was very clear that Steve Erzik won 3-2. He won rounds 2, 3, and 4 very clearly. I mean, anyone with 2 eyes should be able to recognize that. Anyone with a functioning brain should be able to recognize that. But Pantoja won round 5 clearly because Steve Erzik, for some reason, decided to shoot a takedown on a guy he was clearly outstriking. And you could give round 1 to Pantoja, but there's an argument that Steve Erzik won because he was landing a lot cleaner shots. Pantoja did get a takedown, but he didn't do anything with it. And the whole point of MMA is to be effective and do something that will lead towards the end of the fight. But Pantoja didn't do any of that in round 1. He was getting outstruck, getting his takedowns defended, and he could have won that round. So I guess you could give it to him. So you can only give Pantoja 2 rounds. You can't give him anything else. Which one judge apparently thought Pantoja won 4 rounds, which is just fire people like that, fire judges like that. It's just get them out of the sport. But the reason I think that Kai Asakura is going to win is because Steve Erzik was just having way too much success countering Pantoja, and he wasn't even known for his crazy counter punches beforehand. Like, he was just tagging Pantoja at will. In some moments, he would just step back, counter Pantoja. Pantoja would be a little too slow to exit the pocket, and then he was getting tagged with some clean shots to the chin. But the problem is, as Pantoja said himself, Steve Erzik hits like a girl. And Kai Asakura is knocking out people at bantamweight. I mean, he was dropping Manel Cap all over the place, and he's knocking bantamweights out. Guys who are much bigger than Pantoja. Maybe guys who don't have the same chin of Pantoja, but the point is, this guy knows how to put someone's lights out. And I think Kai Asakura is going to do a 2-3 punch combination. He's going to step back, blast him for a huge right hand, and then come back with a left hook, potentially hurting or even flooring Pantoja. But Kai Asakura is going to be throwing all his punches with the intention of knocking Alexandre Pantoja out, which I feel like Brandon Royval did not have that. He's a volume puncher. Steve Erzik as well, he's not really a knockout artist. He has a few knockouts on his record, but yeah, he was just timing Pantoja coming in, but he wasn't really sitting down as much on his punches as I think Kai Asakura will. And Brandon Moreno, he doesn't have that much power, but he has a lot of speed in his punches. But Pantoja at that time, had that legendary chin that he still has, but he had a lot of hunger. You could tell he was trying to finish Brandon Moreno. He was taking the shots, but he was just down to brawl in that one. And it was his time, but I feel like tomorrow, and just seeing Pantoja, fight the same way over and over again, relying on his chin, being so easily hit, I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. I mean, a knockout is coming Pantoja's way, a knockout loss. But I think that Asakura will be a very entertaining champion. I think that, Pantoja, he might have earned himself an immediate rematch, not because of his title wins, but because of the fact that he has, he's 9-0 over the top 15 guys. He beat the number 1 and 2 contender 5 times. I mean, he might have to just give it to him again, but I think that Pantoja's prime is coming to an end. He's going to fight the same way he fought Steve Urze, and I think that I just have a hard time seeing Pantoja winning unless they gift him a decision victory like they did with Steve Urze. But I think that in this one, Asakura is going to be the fan favorite and who the UFC wants to win. So I don't think there's going to be robbery. I hope that it's just clear, concise judging. None of that nonsense where they're giving Pantoja 4 rounds to 1 when he has clearly lost 3 out of the 5 rounds. But it is what it is. But also, sometimes when champions start having these close fights, they end up getting chinned shortly after. Kamaru Usman had that close fight with Colby Covington that went to a decision that could have arguably been a draw. Then he gets head kick KO'd. Adesanya had that close fight with Robert Whittaker. Then he gets knocked out by Alex Pereira 2 fights later. And I think the same thing is going to happen to Alexandre Pantoja. But thank you guys for watching. God bless. And let me know your predictions down below.